Hi everybody, Amber here from Atomik Photography. In this week's video, I'm going to be showing you a bit of a deep dive on how I edit my images in Lightroom. So as you can see, I have Lightroom CC on my phone. I basically will come into my camera feed. So I've got a number of pictures that I could start to edit. So I basically will pick one that I quite like, and I'm going to do a bit of a sort of slightly vintage, slightly sort of, vintage summer kind of vibe to the picture. So I'll get going. So the first thing that I will do generally is to go into the light panel, and then I will adjust the exposure. I don't mind the background being blown out. So as you know, I'm not sort of big into shooting with rules. Blown out background is fine. She's backlit. You can see that she's in a fairly Spanish setting, which is a bit of a clue as to where we are at the moment. And so I quite like how she's got a bit of a halo effect going on with the light. But I want to give it a bit of a vintage feel. So I'm going to throw down an S-curve. So I'll pull the blacks up, I'll pull this down a little bit. I put a point up here, and then I will bring those highlights down a little bit. Now that looks a little bit dark still. So I might just bring some of that point back up again so that you can see some of the detail in the background. So yeah, I'm quite liking how that's looking. Done. In Lightroom CC, if you tap the image and hold it down, you can see the before and you can see the after. So you can see your edits as you go along and compare it to how it was shot. I like how that's looking. I go into the color panel next. Generally, I'll add a bit of vibrance to my images. As you guys know, I like my images quite saturated. And the other thing that I do is I do selective color mixing. So if I come into that color mix panel, I can adjust each color individually from here. So I want to bring the luminance up a little bit in her skin. So her skin tends to be quite orange based, so if I go into the orange and then I go to the luminance scale, I can bring the lighting back up or down in her skin tones. So given that she is backlit, this is the way that I kind of bring a bit more balance to the image. I'll bring the saturation down a little bit in the skin tone, and then I will click on done for that. I'll add a bit of saturation overall so that she doesn't look sort of washed out. And that's kind of, I quite like where the colour is on that one. I might just have a look at the tint and see whether bringing it red, bringing it green. I'm slightly going to bring it to the pink side, and I'll have a look. I might warm up the image a little bit. I'm going to go back into the light section because I do think that still some of the shadows around her face are still quite dark. So let me just see if I bring up the shadows a little bit, what difference that makes. Yeah, I quite like that as well. So if you have a look again at the before, and it's a perfectly nice picture, but the after, it just looks like vintage summer, golden feel. It's really nice. And we've simply used two panels on Lightroom CC on my iPhone. And if I go, I can show you the light setting. We've gone into color and we've made some adjustments in the color panel. In light, we threw down an S-curve that looks like this. And in the color mix panel, we played around with the orange, so that's done. Only a few minutes, really doesn't take that long. Now that I like that, I can copy these settings. So you can copy all of these different kinds of changes if you made them to your image and apply them to other images. So I'm really liking that. I'm going to then go ahead and save it to my camera roll in the maximum available resolution. If I come back to my camera feed, I can then have a look at some other images and see if I want to then apply that sort of vintage summery feel to another image. And let's see how it looks. Paste the settings. So that's come out a little bit bright. So if I just bring that exposure down a little bit, that looks perfect to me. And it's a really nice way to start to bring a bit of sort of consistency to a set of images. If you want to edit a group of images in a similar way, I can come into one of these images as well and paste the settings again. So you can do this multiple times. It's really fast and easy. You don't have to keep doing it again, and then you can make your minor adjustments yourself. And that looks nice to me. So save to the camera roll again. And you can just go through your images and start to apply those edits. So let me just paste those settings here. And then we save to camera roll, maximum available. And you can see that really quite quickly, if I then come into my photos, really quite quickly, I have edited this image, this one, this one, this one, and I feel like they're ready to upload day one in Spain, ready to upload to Facebook, social media, wherever you want to put them. And that's a really quick and easy way to get a golden vintage summer feel edit on your phone using Lightroom CC. I hope you've liked this tutorial. Do comment below if you want to see more stuff like this. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.